A new offense for punching a captain in the face. Can that be?
That was in the very beginning of my time incarcerated, yes.
But I don't know. So what does that mean? Are you forgiven for mistakes you made 3 years ago?
Well, I've definitely spoken with that captain since then.
Okay.
And
Well, I just want to know what led to that behavior.
There, like I said, it was a quick thing, something that happened very fast. I felt as if I was being treated unfairly. Well, a group of us were being treated unfairly, and I kind of just stood up for what I felt was right. Come to find out, I was right. It was just the way I went about it was wrong.
And we're about to watch the parole hearing for another Bebe Angel Aladdin, as actual justice warrior will often say. This man, although, well, yeah, the first question you might ask is, why is he in a button-down shirt? And the parole board will ask him, and the answer he gives, it doesn't really check off for me. I think when this man talks, he's lying. I'll call out the lies at the end of the hearing, but he has such a long record. His jacket is loaded with crimes. He is the perfect poster child for why we continue to see crime in our cities, in our states. It's because the pathetic, agenda-driven district attorneys and judges continue to release these hardcore felons out into the streets, light sentence after light sentence. The idea that he will be getting out soon, regardless, is mind boggling. Now, anyways, let's jump into this hearing. I'll unpack it with all the details at the end.
Alexander Diaz, 362-967.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Alexander Diaz, 362-967. He is serving a sentence of 5 years, followed by 10 years of special parole for conspiracy to commit robbery first and assault to a public safety officer. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of May 8, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan, and it shows that it's been reviewed and shows that the offender has completed voices. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
So first of all, I would like to I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to meet with me. So I definitely feel very, very bad for what I did. I regret it big time. I know while it may look like I'm probably not a model inmate, I have changed a lot. I have realized what I did affected not only myself, but the victims, my family, my kids. And I mean, to be honest, I'm not really used to being given any chances. So I know I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I would be surprised if I got one from you guys. I would definitely be appreciative. Like I said, I definitely would be appreciative of it. But I actually recently spoke to the community release supervisor person in Enfield, and he said that he definitely notices a difference from just the beginning me to now me. I've changed a lot. I've gotten a lot more mature, and I'm a lot more patient. I have signed up to get on list of the programs, and due to just being transferred here and there and everywhere, and it's not an excuse, but I've tried to just become a better person while in here. And like I said, I appreciate you guys taking the time to meet with me.
All right. Thanks for your statement. So when you say you've never been given any chances, I don't understand that. This isn't your first time around. And you know, you got 5 years, but you earned it. You've been on probation, you failed. You know, you've been on special parole, you failed. Those are chances. Those are chances for you to turn your life around.
When I meant chances, I meant like as far like early release
Mm-hmm.
aspect of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, that has to be earned. I'm sure you understand that. Our job, sir, is to protect the communities. Our job is public safety first and foremost. And, you know, you have to be a pretty good risk on paper. That's all we have, right? Your criminal history, your behavior while you're incarcerated, the programs that you take. We're taking a risk, and we're not going to do that unless there's a pretty good probability that we know you're going to do well. Where'd you get that shirt?
I'm currently in culinary arts, the culinary arts program. So
Oh, okay. So you wear those shirts while you're in. Did you come from that program?
yeah,
How long have you been in culinary arts?
I have been in it for about 2 months now.
Okay. What are you doing? What are you learning?
As of right now, we're learning. I just got finished with my Serve Safe certification, and we're currently learning how to bake quick breads.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you say quick bread?
Yeah,
What's a quick bread?
it's just a type of bread they have that's baked differently.
How long does it take?
I mean, anywhere between 20 minutes to 4 hours
Okay.
with the proofing method and things that we have up there that we've been given.
All right, nice. So listen, while you're on parole, you meet your co-defendant at a halfway house and you go rob a Sam's food store at gunpoint. Why?
Just stupidity. I had a job. I had, my own apartment. I was doing good.
Again, why? Like, what was it? What was the goal? Money?
Honestly, it wasn't a money thing. It was just me not being mature enough to just say no.
So your co-defendant asked you to do this, and you just didn't want to say no?
Like I said, it was just an immature, stupid.
And
rash
he's out
decision.
already, right? He's already out. How did he get less time?
I don't know, because he got the actual robber and I got the conspiracy. So I mean, I had
Well,
special
maybe your
parole.
history. I don't know. Or maybe because you were on, I don't know. So you have no good reason, just for, I don't know, kicks, we go and rob a store? What?
This sounds bad.
That sounds bad. It sounds like you're a follower, not a
It
leader.
was just a bad decision, and
Wow.
I won't make it again. That's for sure.
Well, but then, okay, so then you make this bad decision and we hope that you'll learn from it. But then you come into prison and your behavior is just deplorable. What is the problem?
Well, a lot of the tickets, when I met with the special parole liaison here, a lot of the tickets were, so seeing that my bid, my first time I did 8 years, and then it followed through because I never finished my special parole. So it followed through into this. So that the tickets, I don't have the 60 amount or something amount of tickets that I have.
I'm not even looking at those. How about that? I'm looking at 12 since you came back.
Okay.
And that they're bad enough. Insulting language, threatening, contraband A. I mean, why are you threatening the staff at DOC? That's just foolish. What are you going to gain?
You're right. But I'm not denying any of that. But if you look at my past from the times before this to now, I mean, I think that you can very clearly see a big difference in my behavior and the way. I mean, obviously you can tell I have a lot more things to learn, but I mean, I've changed a lot.
Not enough. Not enough. I mean, you picked up a new offense for punching a captain in the face. Can that be?
That was in the very beginning of my time incarcerated, yes.
Well, I don't know. So what does that mean? Are you forgiven for mistakes you made 3 years ago?
Well, I've definitely spoken with that captain since then.
Okay.
And
Well,
we've
I
had,
just want to know what led to that behavior.
there, like I said, it was a quick thing, something that happened very fast. I felt as if I was being treated unfairly. Well, a group of us were being treated unfairly,
Yeah.
and I kind of just stood up for what I felt was right. Come to find out, I was right. It was just the way I went about it was wrong.
Yeah, I mean, so the way you stand up for what's right is by punching someone in the face?
Well, no, and then that was the end result of it. You know, I was being surrounded by we were being surrounded by a bunch of COs and captains and
Okay.
DOC employees, and
Yeah.
me being with my mental health background, I have a PTSD background, very in depth, coming from stemming from my childhood, and I became very fearful. So I threw a punch. Punches were thrown at me. I mean, that doesn't make it right, but it's what happened.
Okay. So then you turn your, what, 4-year sentence into a 5-year sentence? Is that what you did?
5 into 6.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. 1 year consecutive. What a
But
shame. Go ahead.
like if you see from my previous times incarcerated, I mean, I've changed a lot. I mean, I'm hoping that you consider that and see that.
So, I mean, do you know what we consider a reasonable amount of tickets while you're incarcerated?
I don't.
It's a 0. None. And we're seeing plenty of people today with none, not 1 ticket. Does that surprise you?
I mean, yeah, it does, to be honest.
Yeah, it can be done. We see it every day. And today, before you, after you, people minding their own business, doing their thing, and not getting tickets. And you know what happens when you don't get tickets? You can take the programs you need. You don't get transferred out. You don't go to SAG. You know, it's great that you're in culinary arts now, because it has been a few months since your last ticket. But you know, given the nature of your offense, while you were on special parole, we certainly expect a lot more, sir. And you know, you got yourself thrown out of tier 2, although you say you don't have a drug problem anyway, right? So that really wouldn't be beneficial to you. No?
Okay.
I'm asking, do you have a drug problem?
Oh, no, I don't. I don't have an addiction problem, but
Why is your drug score a 3?
So when I first came into incarceration years back, the older guys thought that I would be able to be released on maybe a drug program if I said I had a drug issue, and the level just never went down.
Yeah, that happens. Okay.
But I've never gotten caught with drugs. Never had a drug case or had a dirty urine while being incarcerated or any of the above.
Okay. All right, thank you for speaking with me. Ms. Keys?
I don't think I have any questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Berry?
No questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I mean, it's all, your file is pretty self-explanatory, right? It's all in front of us. We see it all. And you have an additional, now you have 10 more years of special parole to finish, to get through. So you're going to have support. I certainly hope that you'll find a way to use parole to your advantage, right? Like call your parole officer up and say, hey, I need help finding a job, or I need a program. I want to use this culinary arts certificate, or I want to further my education. And they can lead you to resources and supports. And I'm pretty sure the GPS is going to go right back on. So it's not going to be easy. So you have to plan for that. You have to prepare yourself mentally. You know what's coming because you've been there. So I hope you'll be prepared. You don't have a lot of time left, but I hope you can manage to stay out of trouble and get into more programs. It's only going to help you. It can't hurt you. What you're learning now can't hurt you. It's just a skill and you can add it to your resume. Do you work on stuff like that there?
No, I've been personally working on my resume, and I'm also doing other programs outside as well. But
Yeah.
I've been working on my resume though, for sure.
Okay, good. All right. I just can't find my way there today, unfortunately. I would be setting special parole conditions. Ms. Keys, your thoughts?
I agree. I'm sorry, I see the signs of starting to change, but I think if you utilize the time, like the chair said, to continue your self-work, I think you're starting, and we just need more time to make sure you're really ready before you release and those pressures and stressors face you. We don't want you to come back. So, use this time. I know it sucks. But use this time as best you can. To just make sure you're really ready. So when things happen on the outside, you're on a solid foundation. You never come back, and you live a happy, healthy life. But yeah, I'm not in favor today. Sorry.
Ms. Berry?
I'm a denial as well.
All right, let's see. What are our reasons? While on special parole, the nature and circumstance, poor institutional adjustment.
Yep.
Good.
I have those are fine.
I mean, you could take a pick, but all right, we have a victim.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know why we have a name, but whatever. In the Sam's Food, there's a
Yeah.
co-defendant, a mental health eval, and what do you think about anger management?
Anger management is fine.
I had that.
All right. Anything else?
Halfway house.
Warehouse, yeah.
Yep. All right. In the matter of Alexander Diaz, inmate number 362967, I'll move to deny parole due to the nature and circumstance of your offenses, your offense committed while on special parole, and your poor institutional adjustment, the tickets. Special parole for 10 years to follow your sentence will include the conditions of no contact with victim KAU or Sam's Foods in Bristol, no contact with co-defendant Alex Vieira, a mental health evaluation and treatment if it's deemed necessary. You'll parole to a halfway house and take an anger management program in the community. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, thank you.
Keep working on yourself, and we wish you the best. We hope you don't come back.
Best of
All right.
luck.
Thank you.
This concludes the hearing for Alexander Diaz.
He didn't pull off any man baby stuff. Maybe he's not drinking the Connecticut water, but I guess give him credit for that where it's due. But let's be real. He's the idea that he's going to be getting paroled regardless 2/6 of 2027. That's basically in a year and a couple of months from now, and he's not been able to stay out of trouble in prison. So what do you think is going to happen? His jacket, it is loaded with crimes. And I mean, one example that he has here, it really is bizarre to me, actually. I mean, he's the kind of, so he has an arrest in 2022 for stealing a catalytic converter. I have no empathy for people who go into cars and steal catalytic converters. They drive me nuts. We need to lock people like that up. It wrecks other people's lives. Oftentimes, that is not insurable. People don't have the proper insurance or whatever for the cars that he's stealing the catalytic converters from. And the idea that he was out just to commit a robbery with a gun, pointing a gun at someone, and they give this repeat multi-term felon only 5 years. When he pointed a gun at someone, the state of Connecticut could have given 5 years simply for possessing a weapon by a felon. Here's another crime that he did in 2013. He carjacked, when he was 22 years old, he carjacked a 79-year-old man. So his loved ones watched cheerfully as he appeared in court Monday. Outside the courtroom, they said that they're surprised the allegations against Diaz, who was accused of stealing a 2003 Toyota Camry from a 79-year-old man in Elmwood. My brother is not a bad person. He's a very loving person. I hope that the person forgive him, blah, blah, blah. He needs a lot of stuff. He was stressed out. He needed money. Again, it's the whole thing about how he's the victim. He has PTSD. That's why he hit the captain in the face. He was right, but he should have handled it differently. Can you imagine hitting the captain in the face and they only earn 1 more year for that? In Utah, it'd be an easy 5 to 15. Diaz asked the victim if he had guns or cash, told the victim he had about $50. Diaz then let the victim go, drove off with his Camry and cash, picked up 3 other adults and 2 children. Police spotted the stolen car in Hartford at 3:50 p.m. on Wednesday. As officers approached the car, he drove off with them on a chase, hitting 2 police cruisers. This isn't even in his jacket right now because the state of Connecticut, they don't like to keep anything in your jacket for more than 10 years. So it's just like, disappears. You have to actually look for it online. That's the agenda-driven Connecticut. And again, he spoke nicely, but I've seen that too. You see that before. There are some who can try to, the whole with the bread thing. I mean, unless ChatGPT was wrong, I think that's what the parole board was doing. They asked him about the bread. They have some information that we don't have, and they didn't care to share it. They probably saw that he just got in or he didn't learn. They were testing him, and they said, "Oh yeah, what did you learn? Oh, what shortbread?" He had no idea what he was talking about, and he's just not. Like some people can make the best of prison. He's not. And just showing up and trying to put on the whole cutesy thing. I do. Would love to know how he got the shirt. We've never seen that before. Never. Now, this next parole hearing, it's another one that's going to piss you off. In a nutshell, it was 2019 when he met up with a 13-year-old girl when he met on Snapchat. Now, he lured her into the stairwell of an apartment building and full-on essayed her, leaving her on the floor where her mother found her and then took her to the hospital. Now, it took years until they caught him, actually up until 2024 when he was arrested when DNA matched him. Now, what do they do to a man who does something like this to a little one? Well, they give him a 5-year sentence. As a matter of fact, he was only sentenced on February 9, 2024, and up for parole December 2025. You can't make it up. Now, with that, let's jump in.
My name is Joshua Berner. I am in number 442-885.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration for the parole application for Joshua Berner, number 442-885. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 5 years, followed by 10 years of probation for sex assault second. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of June 13th, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows that he has completed short track sex offender program, Second Chance Alliance, therapeutic wellness, Yale Pell Grant, and alternative to violence programs. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the low range of risk for recidivism. Utilizing the static 99R, the offender's overall score for sexual offense recidivism falls within the moderate high range. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Good morning. I first want to say thank you for your time today and consideration of parole. I understand the gravity of your decisions today, and I do not take this opportunity lightly. I want to the victim and her family. I'm deeply remorseful for all the suffering, trauma, embarrassment, and shame I've caused you and your family. I fully recognize that my action caused harm to you and your family, and I truly am sorry. The impact of my actions weighed heavily on me. I live each day with the knowledge of pain I've created. This awareness has shaped my commitment to change and have driven me to live with accountability, discipline, and compassion. I cannot undo the past, but I can ensure that my future is defined by responsibility and respect for others. I deeply understand the impact of my actions and who I've hurt, and I apologize to you, your family, my family, other victims, and my community. And I'm very sorry and remorseful. I've thought about positive ways I can help victims of sexual assault to ease the burden caused by sexual harmful behavior, whether it's offered public speakings to educate my community or come to prisons and jail to talk on how much reoffenders cause suffering and trauma on victims and their families. My time incarcerated has been a period of deep reflection, growth, and transformation. It has guided me to understand the importance of giving back not only to my community, but most importantly to my family and my two sons, Michael and Nehemiah. During my incarceration, I have worked hard to better myself and prepare for a productive future. I am proud to enroll in Yale Prison Education Program, which strengthened my mind and commitment to lifelong learning. I've earned 7 certificates, completed mental health programs, and participated in nonviolence programs. I am also pursuing carpentry training, equipping me with a trade that will allow me to support my family and provide stability for my family. Alongside my education and programs, I have held full-time employment in DOC, balancing responsibility with integrity. These experiences have taught me the value of hard work and responsibility, lessons I am eager to pass on to my children and others. I completed a short-term sex treatment program where I've learned how to deal with my emotions in positive ways besides sex. I've learned the cognitum of consent, cognitive distortion, thinking, internal and external risk factors, ways to manage them, and common life goals, and ways to meet those life goals, boundaries, and most importantly, accepting responsibility. Some of these things I was never exposed to until taking this program, and I'm grateful to learn them now. I've also completed a relapse prevention plan, identified internal risk factors leading to my offense, the negative emotions I experienced, and the use of marijuana as a coping mechanism to manage my negative emotions. I will manage my emotions in positive ways by putting God first, communicating with my wife, participating in my counseling groups, and working a stable job and continuing college. This summer of this year, I've been enrolled in YPEI program, pursuing associate's in arts degree, major in general studies. I'm currently the youngest in the program and very grateful for the opportunities the program has given me. I'm in my second semester, going to start my third next month. I spend 16 hours in class, and on top of that, attending vocational education Monday through Fridays. When I'm not in class, I'm reading and studying. This program has not only taught me education, but also discipline through my readings and writings I have to do in a timely manner. I am fully determined to finish getting my degree at the University of New Haven, supported by YPEI and their fellowship program after my release. This past YPEI graduation, one of the graduates who came back inside to graduate with his cohort. That was a big motivation for me to pass along that same inspiration when I'm released and graduating. I've reflected on how my action caused a domino effect on the victim, her family, my family, other victims in my community. How I left my spouse with all the responsibility on her own. How I let my stepson Michael down, how he don't have me to be physically present in his life, and how my spouse had to provide for the family and attend physical therapy for my youngest son, Nehemiah. Bring them both up from school and take them to doctor's appointment all alone. I am very committed to never putting her through this experience or the victim ever again. Due to my actions, I missed Nehemiah's birth and his first and second birthday. I never want to experience that again. Most importantly, I need to be home to help my wife care for my autistic son. His needs require patience, consistency, and daily support. I want to be present to provide the love, guidance, and stability that only a father can give his son. My greatest motivation is to be there for my family, to support my wife, to nurture my children, and to ensure they both have every opportunity to thrive. If I'm granted parole, my plans would be make sure I'm obeying my parole stipulations, reconnecting with my family, finding employment, get in contact with YPEI fellowship programs so I can continue college, attend my counseling groups, have connections, and looking for training opportunities for HVAC. I will not be returning home to uncertainty. My support system will help me with housing, clothes, employment, counseling, school, and any other resources I need. I am ready to live as a law-abiding, productive citizen. I respectfully ask the board to recognize my rehabilitation and grant me the opportunity to continue this journey outside these walls, where I can contribute positively to society, and most importantly, be the father and husband my family needs. I again want to deeply apologize to the victim and her family for sexually assaulting you. The consequences of my behavior provides powerful reminders of how damaging sex offenses are, and I'm very sorry and remorseful. Thank you for considering.
Thank you for your statement, Mr. Werner. We certainly appreciate it. And we did receive, your resume, your excellent work evaluations, letters from, are you married or is it your girlfriend?
I proposed to her, we're not fully married yet. So,
say that again?
I said I proposed to her, but we're not married yet.
No, she's your girlfriend then. Yeah, so, I mean, I read wife everywhere and it was just confusing to me. Okay, so we did get letters from family members and friends too. We're going to ask you some questions, okay? When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate and we'll give you our decision here today. We'll begin with my colleague, Ms. Keys.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also want to thank you for that statement. And as the chair said, we did receive all the documents and they were very helpful and insightful. The 6-month release plan, tons and tons of support letters, your letter to us, your resume, all of that. One thing that struck me was, I haven't been at this job for too long, it's been a few months, but of everybody with sexual convictions, I hadn't heard or read anyone take it on, say, yes, I did this in the way that you did, and say, and own it and be so motivated to want to give back. And try to, recognizing that you can't change anything that's been done. You can't change the incredible harm that was done to the victim. This is, no one's denying that. And I don't think you're denying that in any way, but you're wanting to try to help others and by acknowledging what you did and not hiding from it. And so I just want to acknowledge that because it was really remarkable for me. And I want to say, you seem to be a really hard worker. You are in school and in a vocational program, and also working. And at the time of this offense, at times you had been homeless, right? And were sleeping on a porch and everything, but at the same time you were working full time, right?
Yeah, Jersey Mike's in Milford.
Yeah. So it sounds like being hardworking is not new to you, but I do think it seems as though you've used that in terms of all of the programming you've done. I was trying to write down everything you had taken, and it's significant.
Yeah.
So the carpentry program, you've completed units 1 through 3, if I'm correct. Is that, I know you want to get into HVAC, but is that something, how far are you from being able to do carpentry in the community, at least to get your feet on the ground while you do other things, while you then explore HVAC and your degree and everything else?
So my teacher, we were supposed to do OSHA to get her certified in here. He said November. He hasn't told us if he was going to do it after last week. He was like, the principal saying she wants to do it and nothing's been done so far. So right now I do have 3 certificates instead of 1, but the principal has to sign the certificates. She has yet signed them, but I just need 2 more to graduate. And he also helped me with, I think it's CT Works, Lincoln Tech. He gave me places where I can apply for schooling. to get trained.
Good. Yep, between that and your college studies and all the programming, you really have done a lot. It seems like you'll have a lot of opportunities. What would be your, in terms of your release plan, I guess, in terms of the order of things? So I know you gave us the 6 months, but when you get home, what's the first job you want to do when you get home? And then the progress of that and the schooling?
Because I want to definitely do schooling, I know I can definitely get hired at Five Guys, because that was the job I was working before I got sentenced. And the manager said that he will hire me if he's still running the store when I get released. So I know I can get hired at Five Guys or Jersey Mike's, depending on when I get released and where am I located. But I would say Five Guys because I still want to attend college, and I know that still have to do it with a lot of time of mine. So, college is really my number one priority. And then so I would say Five Guys, and then schooling, I would say YPI has been helping me to find ways that I can continue schooling on the outside. And I believe I asked her if they had HVAC training at Yale. I forgot her answer, but if they do, then I will be doing that at Yale. And then so.
Yeah, I think continuing to work with those connections, because they can help you. And so they will work with you and try to get you the best fit. Anything at Yale would be great, of course, or University of New Haven. You did receive 3 DRs, but they were all like the same week. 2 of the 3 were the same day. And they were all the same week in February of last year. So I think I'm not personally too concerned of that. We did receive a ton of support letters. So you do have a lot of support of people that want to help you. I was going to ask about the crime, but if the victim was watching, is there something you would like to just say with this opportunity?
Yeah, I definitely apologize for my actions. I'm not proud of my actions. I wish I could have done multiple things to take back that day. And, I can't imagine the suffering that I've caused you and your family. And I do really apologize. And I'm not just saying that because, parole. I've been thinking about this heavily since I've been incarcerated, and even before my sentence, and even prior to me even getting arrested. It's happened in 2019, and I always feared that something was going to happen to me between the time I got arrested. So I just really want to apologize to you and your family, and to other victims of sexual assault.
And this is an aside, but when I was reading about the places you were considering doing talks with, I thought high schools, to let young men know and young women know what constitutes consent and sexual assault, and how you could end up in the position you were in, and to try and get people to work on the personal issues that might end up leading them to engage in something as you guys did, and lead to the consequence that was horrible for both of you, but certainly the victim. So we wish her well. We really don't have a lot of questions for you, honestly. One thing I just wanted to also say, if you don't have a copy of your academic inquiry and writing course professor's assessment, you should definitely get it and read it and keep it. It was remarkable. But yeah, I really don't have many questions. I think you've done really well. There's no question that this was a horrible crime. It's the young victim. There's no question. And I don't mean to take anything away from that by recognizing the work that you've done. But I just feel you've really taken this opportunity to do as much as you possibly can. You can never change what happened, as you said, but you've taken the opportunity to do as much as you can to make yourself into somebody that would never do that again, and that could actually maybe even help others and prevent this from happening to other victims in the future, and to prevent other people from perpetrating similar crimes. So I do just want to acknowledge that, and I really don't have many questions. I'll pass it off to the chair. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for answering my question.
Thank you. Ms. Berry?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Vernier, when you were interviewed for today's hearing, you told the officer that the victim told you she was 17, about to be 18. And you told us in your opening statement that you focused in on your cognitive distortions and all those kinds of things that led you into committing this kind of crime. Is it still your position that you didn't know the victim's age?
Yes, but I should have known. I should have taken the consideration of no.
So did you tell her that you were 17?
No.
How old did you tell her you were?
I told her I was 20 years old. She said, and again, this is not taken away from anything I did, but she said, I don't believe you. You don't look that old.
So I'm just curious. Okay, so you were at your sister's house, right? And how did you find out that this girl was interested in you?
I was smoking on a porch, and she came inside the front porch. I was smoking. She came inside. The neighbor said, "Hey, my friend said you look cute." No, I'm sorry. She said, "My cousin just said you look cute." I said, "Tell her." I said, "Thank you." She said, "Do you want her number?" And I'm like, "How old is she?" Because I knew the other little girl that lived there. I knew her age, so I said, "How old is she?"
How old was the other little girl?
Yeah, I said, "How old was the other little girl?"
I know. How old was she? How old was her cousin?
I think 13 or 14. I'm not sure.
Okay, go ahead.
But she said that when I asked her her age, she was like, "Oh, that don't matter." She said, "You're cute," and she wants your Snapchat. So I said, "Okay," and I gave her my Snapchat.
And then once the victim told you that she was in pain, what happened?
Respectfully, she never told me.
She never yelled?
No, respectfully.
Have you how do you think that this crime has impacted her?
I know her family. I can sit here and say how I feel, but I can't say I can't really imagine how she really felt. I know she felt hurt. I know I've caused pain on her. And looking back, I'm not proud of that. No, I really wish I could take that whole day back. I really wish that I could have took in consideration what I was doing when I was doing it. And then again, I'm not saying this because I'm at parole. You know, I'm very vocal of my crime to even other inmates and other COs and everyone. And I always say that, you know, regardless of what I should have known, I should have known better. I should have asked. I should have done so many things that I wish I should have done. And, you know, I really regret it. And I can't imagine the pain that I've caused her. And, you know, again, I'm very sorry for what I caused her. And, you know, to this day, I'm
Did you transmit a disease to her?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
All right. Okay, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Mr. Varner, give us a few minutes to discuss your case and we'll come back to you shortly with our decision. You can listen, just don't interrupt, please. Ms. Keys.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I did pretty much state my opinion. I don't want to take anything away from what the victim went through. It's horrible, and I can imagine this is going to be a lifelong challenge for her. So I really don't want to minimize that, but we're assessing his suitability and what's best for him and the community and everybody. And I do think he has made great progress, and I think he is suitable for discretionary parole. So I'm in favor today.
Thank you, Ms. Berry.
Mr. Vernier he rates out low. He has completed a number of positive programs. This is his only criminal conviction. He's expressed remorse. Sounds as if he has gained some insight into his behaviors and hopefully some ways to avoid finding himself in a situation like this again. Sounds like he had some goals set for himself and a lot of things that he would like to achieve. I would support his discretionary parole because I believe that he has demonstrated change and to a level that warrants his being released early.
Thank you. I agree with what my colleagues have said. And Mr. Berner, I certainly hope you'll follow through with your education. It's a very rare opportunity that you've been given to, receive a Yale education and University of New Haven as well. Most people don't get that opportunity, so don't blow it. Follow through with it, okay? Let's see. We have conditions. There's a victim, no minors, a halfway house if it's needed, PSB treatment, and mental health evaluation. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's what I had as well.
All right. The evaluation did recommend enhanced internet device monitoring.
Yeah,
I
didn't
because I didn't either. I think that would be difficult today. Understanding their reasoning, of course. In the matter of Joshua Verner, MA number 4428885, I'll make a motion to grant parole on or after June 13th, 2026, with the following additional conditions: no contact with victim, initials JM, no contact with minors without your parole officer's express permission. You'll parole to a halfway house if it's needed. You'll participate in problem sexual behavior treatment in the community and a mental health evaluation and treatment if they deem it necessary. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I again do want to take the time to apologize to the victim again. I am sorry, and I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you. And, please keep in mind, I understand that you and your girlfriend have children, but any contact with minors is going to have to be approved by your parole officer, okay? Good luck to you, sir. Keep working on yourself.
Thank you.
This parole board is nuts. I mean, look, either I have the wrong information on this article that I'm about to share with you, or they have no idea they haven't spent a minute to research this case. Can you believe that new parole board member? She's like, I've only been here a couple months. Yeah, you have. And I keep seeing you mess up like this, giving him credit. The other ones, they all deny it, but you're admitting to it. Well, it's because they have the DNA. What the hell? Do you not do any research? Hey, of course he can. I mean, okay, fine. To be fair, we have seen nut jobs deny it. Remember that Louisiana parole hearing where he said that there was a 1 in 800 quadrillion chance it wasn't his DNA, and he actually was found not guilty by a jury, but the parole board's like, okay, that was a weird one. But anyways, can you imagine? And so what he does, he says this whole story how, she lied about the age. It wasn't even forget just the age. He full on SA'd her. It took years until what are they talking about? Again, maybe I have the wrong information, but let's see. Maybe, it's possible, right? Let's go see. Bridgeport man charged with assault of a girl he met on Snapchat. Well, I don't know. That seems to match up to the story. Snapchat. So, 24-year-old city man was charged with essaying a 13-year-old he met through Snapchat after police said the DNA was recovered from the victim. Joshua Verner. Do I have the right man? Yes. Was charged Wednesday with second-degree essay and risk of injury. During Verner's arraignment hearing Wednesday afternoon, Deputy Assistant State's Attorney Stephen Lojo urged Superior Court Elizabeth Judge Reed to set a high. Oh, stop it with your! I can't. This page is popping around on me. There's two-faced DAs, right? I urge you to give him a high bond because of the serious nature of the allegations. The judge ordered that Verner be held on $75,000 bond. Continued case February 17th. The judge also ordered Verner to have no further contact with the victim using a protective order. And that's when our Prince of Air, who admitted to the crime, said, "I don't even know who she is." Stop popping on. They're such nuts. These I'm not going to share the screen with you anymore. Sorry. I'm just going to read it because they're so sick in the head, the people who run these websites. You think anyone can read an article if you're using software that makes the page jump up and down? Like, do you not try to read your own articles and then you wonder why you're failing? During Verner's arraignment hearing Wednesday afternoon, no, it jumped around, so I can't even keep track of it. On June 30th, 2019, police said officers were dispatched to Bridgeport Hospital. This was June 30th, 2019. Okay? Police said that officers were dispatched to Bridgeport Hospital for a call of a 13-year-old. There it is, jumping around on me again. I can't. I just can't. I can't with these. This is insanity. 13-year-old girl being treated for the SA. Police said a female friend of the victims had posted a photograph of the victim on Snapchat. Police said Verner saw the posting on social media platform and contacted the girl, arranging to meet her in a stairwell of her apartment building. This has nothing to do with the story we just heard. Police said Verner essayed her in the stairwell as she cried for help and then left her lying there. She was later found by her mother and taken to the hospital. Police said the assailant's DNA was recovered from the victim and was later matched to Verner following his arrest on a narcotics charge, right? So they had DNA, they didn't have a match, they get him on a narcotics charge, and boom, now they have their perp. When they confirmed Verner with the DNA results, police said he started crying and admitted to having SA contact with the victim. And remember, he told the judge he had no idea who she was in the arraignment. Now, let's just do one more check to make sure it is him. Hold on 1 second while I pause. Yes, it's him. The dates match up. The age matches up. It's crazy. I mean, he just made up a whole story, took no accountability. We see a completely different story here online, and the parole board takes it hook, line, and sinker. And if you think that someone would do this just one time, this is not like, it's like the parole board never even crosses their mind, right? That somebody will meet a little one in the hall, do that, and that was the only time it ever happened. That was it. He got caught the first and last time. I think you got to be nuts to think that. And I also wonder, his static 99, it ranked out like medium high, which never happens. And the static 99 is self-reporting. So I wonder if he put in there that he had more victims. And that's the only rational way that you could not have a low risk. You just wouldn't have a medium to high risk unless he self-reported other victims that he was never being convicted for. That's just facts. If you were wondering, how is it that he wasn't low? So this is and he's dangerous. He is so dangerous. He looks all innocent and young. He's not young. He's 26 years old about. And he has a girlfriend with little ones. Wow, parole board, go set him up. Go set him up to be with someone with little ones. I'm sure it's going to work out great. And they don't even want to do monitoring of his phone because it would be too complicating. They're nuts. They're really nuts. The parole board. And it's funny, they use the static 99 when it says it's a low risk to release people early, but when it says it's not a low risk, they don't even bring it up. It's not convenient for their narrative. You've seen it here. You called it here. We'll see another parole hearing. Let's go.
Good morning, Keon Shelton, 445-301.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Keon Shelton, number 445-301. He is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 30 months jail, followed by 5 years of probation for assault second and carrying a pistol without a permit. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of January 7th, 2026. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows the offender has completed voices, chronic discipline phase 2 and tier 1 program, as well as MYI Young Fathers program. Utilizing a statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the very high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I appreciate it. I start by taking full responsibility for my actions. At this time in my crime, I was trying to prove a point to people who didn't have my best interests. I wasn't thinking about my consequences or the people I was hurting, especially my loved ones. I accept that those were my choices and mistakes. I also want to acknowledge the tickets I received while incarcerated. Each time I was separated from the general population, I realized I was only hurting myself and loved ones who visit me and wait to hear from me. Being away from my family for the past 2 years is something I never wanted to experience again, and it showed me the importance of controlling my actions. During my programs, I learned how drugs clouded my judgment and how important it is to think before I act. Now that I am a father, I understand that every decision I make affects myself and my son, and I'm committed to being responsible and present for him. If and when granted parole, I plan to go to college and learn a trade and study investments. I will also attend fatherhood programs and look to take additional programs to keep working on myself. I'm not asking for freedom without responsibility. I'm asking for a chance to use what I learned to build a better life for myself, my son, and my family.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Shelton. We have some questions for you, okay? When we're done with our questions, we'll deliberate, discuss your case amongst ourselves, and give you our decision here today.
Okay.
We will begin with my colleague, Ms. Berry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Shelton, why did you have a weapon?
Honestly, where I was who I was surrounding myself by and where I was keeping myself during the time when I shouldn't have, I was scared of who I was surrounding myself by, so I felt like carrying a weapon was the only way to protect myself. And honestly, I know I messed up now, so I'm glad I had this chance.
And so how did you get the gun?
I brought it,
You purchased it off the street?
yes.
Okay. And so you expected something like this to happen then, right?
I never expected something like this to happen, because like I said, I was trying to prove a point. I wasn't really thinking about what this could have led up to. I was only trying to be out there and show people this is what I'm about.
Right. But if you would have gotten into a fight or someone started shooting at you and you had a weapon on you, you'd start shooting back, right?
No, I honestly would have been scared.
You know, you see gun violence on on the TVs there while you're in prison, and you can see the harm that it causes every community. You know, it's just every day someone's dying from senseless gun violence. And when you carry weapons around thinking that you're protecting yourself when you don't know how to use it, really does put everyone at risk, because bullets don't have, names on them. You may be shooting at whoever you were fighting with in this crime, but a victim could have hit anybody innocent easily.
And honestly, I went over that a lot of times. This could have went wrong 100 ways. Somebody could have died. I could have died. Could have affected my family in a big way, especially a victim family.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's all a big lesson.
And so your drug score is a 4 there in the prison. So were you smoking marijuana when you were out there, or using other stuff and carrying this gun?
Yes, I was only smoking marijuana.
And how frequently were you smoking marijuana?
Every day.
Every day? How many times a day?
3 or 4.
So a little bit of paranoia too then, if you're smoking that much marijuana, no?
It was more anxious and me being all my anxiety and my PTSD, because I went through a lot growing up with trauma.
Yeah, I understand that. So when the officer interviewed you, in preparation for today's hearing, you told her that your friend was being robbed and you tried to help him. Were you insinuating that the victim in this case was the shooter?
I'm not insinuating that. Both parties was, honestly.
Okay.
If
So
that's
you,
what
you were shooting your weapon as well?
Yes,
Okay. And so the video showed that the gun fell out of your hand or leg or
you said was I shooting as well?
yes.
No, so what happened was when the weapon had came out, when we were tussling for it, it had went off. So me and the victim hands was both on the gun, so that's why that happened.
And so you were the only person injured.
Yes.
So tell us about all these tickets, Mr. Shelton.
Where can I start from? From when I first came in before I bonded out, I was still at the proving the point phase. And then when I came back, I was kind of adjusting on how to jail because I still don't know how to jail. Honestly, I mess up still to this day. And all the OGs here tell me like, you can't do this, you can't do that. Like me pecking my door, I learned that was just nonsense. But then again, my anxiety was just coming to me. So I just felt like me having my door pegged was like helping me. So if I could open my door, I won't be as anxious as I am being in the cell all day long.
So my question to you is, you're in prison because you weren't following the rules when you were out in the community. And then you come into the prison and you're in a controlled environment and you're still not following the rules. You're still trying to prove yourself. How do we
No.
expect that you're going to transition back out into the community and no longer be involved in this stuff or around the people that you were around?
Like I said, I got a son, so it's not even about me anymore. Whatever I do affects him. And I just been just being away from him for this long and not even being there for him to be born. That's just a lot. Like I can't afford to go through this again. I really can't. That's traumatizing to me.
Yeah. So why did you alter your specimen?
Yeah, hear me? All right. When I went to use the bathroom for the specimen, I told him I wasn't taking the test because I honestly I hope my cellie because he was off drugs and he was like foaming at the mouth. So I kept banging on the door and I told him, "Can y'all come help me?" And they told me that I had to take a specimen. And it's not like I was trying to hide anything. I just told him like, if I was helping, why do I have to take a specimen? And then they told me because I denied it, that's altering and that's a refusal specimen. And then I just got the ticket.
Yeah. You're so young, Mr. Shelton, and you sound like an ambitious young man. It sounds as if you have some incentive to really, turn your life around now that you're a father yourself. And I read about your upbringing, and I really do hope that you don't allow that to continue to um, navigate your life and your actions. All of that stuff that you experience, you should use that to help other people instead of using that as to store anger or resentment, because that's not going to lead to anything good. You're young enough to turn this whole thing around. You really are, but you've been at this for quite some time. We have your entire history, so we know some of the things that you've been doing. And do you think that your anger plays a role in a lot of your decisions?
Yes, I honestly do. And that's why I really, if y'all do grant me, if possible, if y'all can please programs. So I can learn how to control my emotions because still to this day, I still don't know how to control them fully. But I learned how to take a grasp on the symbol.
You're young still, and it's a skill, honestly, that comes with maturation, but you also have to weigh your pros versus your cons. Everything that doesn't deserve a reaction, as long, words are just words. And I know it's easier said than done. And especially you're being a young man, you guys kind of want to prove that, you're not punk, but all of that nonsense, and that's what I'm going to call it, nonsense, just winds send you right back to where you are. It's just foolishness. Disassociate yourself with the foolishness, you know?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
I don't even know where to start, Mr. Shelton, because I said this is crazy. This really is crazy. There were 20 rounds fired. And you're telling me that you guys were tussling and the gun just went off? I read that the victim was shot too.
The victim was shot?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even know that. They told me that I
You
was the
didn't know
only
because you
victim.
all just started running in different directions.
Yeah, we all did.
Listen,
Everybody
let me
was
tell
like,
you what the police report says, because if you don't have it, you should have it. That you and your co-defendant were trying to rob this victim who fought back.
Mm-hmm.
And that you dropped the gun, it accidentally went off, and you got shot in the leg. But then you guys start running away, and somebody's still shooting rounds because they
Yeah.
found 20 of them.
I don't know, because when I got shot, I just started running to my grandmother's house because I thought I was gonna die. I didn't know what was gonna happen.
And I thought you said you didn't have a gun.
No, I had a weapon. We were tussling for it, and then it went off, and that's how I accidentally got
I
shot.
understand, but at some point you said you didn't have a gun, that it was the victim's gun, and it accidentally went off. In one of the reports that I read, that's what it said. What are you doing with a gun?
Like I said, I was
16? You were 16 at the time, right?
15.
I mean, that's even worse. It makes no sense. You guys are lucky that no one was killed with all these rounds. This isn't the Wild Wild West. It just makes no sense. And you were on probation at the time. Why weren't you going to school?
I was attending school at Bunnell High School.
And you never finished, right?
I was one credit shy from graduating.
Well, that's it. One credit shy does not make a high school diploma, unfortunately.
I know.
Why
That's why I
haven't you
got
finished yet?
Here they don't give you you can't get a diploma. So with the school, when I was in NYI, the people here I spoke, and my mom had also got in touch with Bunnell, and I guess they spoke and said that because I'm a credit shy away from graduating, there's no point for me to go to school here and get a GED.
Wow. Okay, except that, you were going to the culinary arts program, but you were removed from that because of the tickets. Why are you using marijuana in prison?
I just been around it.
Okay, you're always going to be around it. So if I'm around heroin, I should shoot it up?
Oh,
I mean, this stuff is wrong. These tickets are ridiculous. There's no reason for you to be assaulting anybody, fighting with anybody, having sexual materials, or using marijuana. There's no reason for any of this. You know it's wrong. I don't need to tell you that it's wrong. For you to say you don't know how to act in prison, you act the right way, the same way you have to do when you go out into the community. Did I read that you want to be an anesthesiologist?
yes. I also want to go to the Army too.
Tell me what an anesthesiologist does.
So before you go into surgery, they put you to sleep. So
Yep.
My job would be to make sure everything, like the mask that we put on you is intact and it's not the wrong gas that we're putting on you, and everything's just good.
Tell me, sir, what does schooling for anesthesiologists look like?
10 to 12 years, a long
Right.
10 to 12 years.
Right. I mean, I think you should start with your high school diploma.
Yes.
It's great to have that dream, but that's a long way off. You have a whole lot to do before you can get there.
That's why I plan to go to the Army, just to structure myself. And
Do you think you could go to the Army with this record?
actually, my mom was talking to a sergeant. I don't really know all the updates or anything about it, but they were talking, and somehow, I guess I could fit in. It has to go to the probation. It just has to go higher.
That's called a pardon. You're not going to Army with these convictions. So while that's again a great goal, you're a ways off from all of that. You can't get a pardon until you're done with all of this. You still have 5 years of probation after your sentence. You don't have a lot of time left, so you're going to be out soon. You know, you're almost done with this sentence, but you know, your mindset should be starting now. The changes should be happening now because you need to mentally prepare yourself for when you get out there. Because saying, well, it was just around, so I did it, is not going to be a good answer, you know?
No.
You have to choose your friends wisely, and you have to occupy your time with positive things. This is not going to work.
I
And like you said, you're a dad now. Somebody out there needs you to be a good dad. Where's your dad?
He's home right now, probably at work.
Okay. Has he been to prison?
Yes.
So now
Listen
you have
to
a son. You don't want to keep repeating this cycle, right?
Yeah, I got to break the generational curse. Me and my
Right.
mom talk about that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Ms. Keys?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for answering everyone's questions. I don't have any further questions.
All right, give us a few minutes to discuss your case. You can listen to our discussion, and we're gonna give you our decision shortly.
All right.
Ms. Berry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Mr. Shelton sounds good here today. It sounds as if he understands that he has more work to do on himself to improve his decision making and his behavior. He has a tremendous amount of goals set for himself, and sounds like he's exploring some of his options. Be that as it may, they may not be within hand's reach, but if he really does dedicate himself to change, I believe that he'll be able to accomplish, like I tell mine, anything. You got to put your mind to those things and remove yourself from those people that you were associated with and all that foolishness that we talked about. Some of the things that concern me, one is this crime that he committed. You know, he rates out very high in terms of risk to recidivate. And you couple that with the for addiction services and only his completing a tier 1 continuous marijuana smoking. And I understand, I heard him talk about his upbringing playing a role in all the marijuana smoking. He really just still has so much stuff to do. He really just does. And you couple that stuff with his own admission, I don't really know how to behave. With the disciplinary infractions and the nature, it's just all like my heart is always, I think I'm a little more lenient with people who are his age.
Yeah,
because they're so young and they just make the worst decisions. And, you know, but I just don't know if I could support him at this time, just based on everything in its totality. So I don't know. I'm a little ambivalent.
Well, I am not. You know, Mr. Shelton is a nice enough young man, and I certainly wish him the best, but we do not reward bad behavior. The reason he didn't take the programs is because he just got out of chronic discipline a few weeks ago. You should have been taking programs all this time had it not been for these tickets. It's too much of a risk. You know, guns are a big problem in our community. And when we have rounds being fired all over a neighborhood, there's a good chance somebody's going to get hurt.
Right.
It's a denial for me. He's got 5 years of probation to follow his sentence. And I certainly wish Mr. Shelton well and hope that we don't see him back here. Ms. Keys?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Unfortunately, I agree with the denial. I would love, I think you're on the right track. I think you're on track, and I feel bad. I would like to do this, but like my colleague said, I want you to be as ready as possible. And you are still so young, so when you get out, there's gonna be drugs, guns, and there's gonna be so many temptations and pressures and everything. And I want you to be solid in who you are and have these skill sets and tool sets and your tools in your belt to just keep your focus, no impulsive behavior, and just keep your eye on the prize. And you don't have a lot of time left. You're going to get out very soon. It'd be great if while you're in there, you're able to get in new thoughts, anger management, another tier something to just kind of further help you along so you're further ready and established. But I wish you the best. You'll get out soon, and just keep your head on straight. Keep thinking about your goals when you're tempted or you're angry. But anyway, I'll stop my thing, but wishing you the absolute best.
Yeah, I mean, we're
Thank
talking
you.
about a 5-month
Mhm.
difference here, but he's before he starts probation. All right, in the matter of Keon Shelton, amendment number 445301, I'll move to deny parole due to the nature and circumstance of your offenses and poor institutional adjustment tickets. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Shelton, we wish you good luck. I hope we read about you being an anesthesiologist someday, and we're reading your pardon file to clear it all so you could go to the Army. Good luck to you, sir.
God bless you guys. Have a very nice day.
You too.
So,
This concludes the hearing for Keon Shelton.
And she wasn't kidding when she says, I hope to give you a pardon one day. We cover pardon hearings out of the state of Connecticut, and it's the same board members that do these parole hearings that cover the pardon hearings. And if you're ever curious what the parole board members look like, you actually see their faces in the pardon hearings. I have a playlist for it. The pardon hearings out of the state of Connecticut are the most unhinged. They hand out pardons like hotcakes. You will see people who are still under supervision or still registering as sex offenders and given full pardons, getting their record expunged. We've seen it's the most unhinged parole hearing. Someone who basically kidnapped a child who then wants a pardon so she can take care of little children again. The craziest stuff. Now, the idea that he wants to be an anesthesiologist, just like there's got to be a disorder tied to that. I mean, dude, and then you hear that his prison record goes back to like the age 14 or 15, and what is he now? I can't even, when I look up his record, it's just crazy. I mean, I see here for the offense date of 2023, which means this was a new offense. I guess which was assault second degree, carrying a pistol without a permit. I mean, I don't know if these were like dating. I'm confused again with the whole age thing, what they mentioned. But you hear the fake story where it's like he's the victim and we were struggling for the gun and I got shot, and then you hear 20 bullets flying around, the victim getting hit, and it's like and then he just gets out of, I think, SEG a week ago. In Louisiana, you can't have a parole hearing if you have one write-up, one ticket in 3-year period. But here, you can actually show up in a red jumpsuit, handcuffed to the table, and still have a chance at parole. Now, thankfully, they denied, but it really is shocking when you see someone. I'm surprised they didn't send him to Yale like the other guy. Can you imagine going to prison and then getting a degree from Yale? You can't make this stuff up. I mean, really, it's Connecticut. It's agenda driven. That they're a little bit nuts over here. Let's go see one more parole hearing.
Andre Stewart, 414-724.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of a parole application for Andre Stewart, inmate number 414-724. He is serving a sentence of 4 years jail followed by 1 year of special parole for criminal possession of a pistol/revolver, violation of probation of the underlying offense of carrying a pistol without a permit, violation of probation of the underlying offense of assault and assault on a public safety officer. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date, May 3rd, 2025. There's no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and the offender has not completed any programs. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score in the SRT falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
First off, I would like to say that I apologize for my actions and my crimes I committed. And I hope y'all all have the heart to forgive me. I feel as if I should be granted parole because I am not the same man I was 21 months ago. I realized the way I was going about trying to protect myself was the wrong way, and it would never help anyone in any situation. I now cherish and value my freedom, and I would love to let my family know how much they could depend on me and how much I have changed. I want to show the young men in my life and others around me the right way to go about any disagreement and to promote more peace and unity in the world. I would love to see my little sister walk across the stage and be a better son to my mother. That's all. I
Okay,
would like,
go ahead.
so I have goals too. I want to go home. I want to get a job, a CDL. I want to get a house, and I want to buy trucks and start a dump removal company. I also want to go back to school for welding and manufacturing. I have been in here, even though I haven't did my programs. I took it upon myself to do a program in the world called Criminon, called The Happy Way of Happiness, a better sense guide of better living. And they have taught me how to be a better man in society, on how to deal with a lot of situations that any person might come through. And I'm currently in the program and getting certificates, grade lessons on the program.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stewart. So we have read about your past, what you've done to get into this incarceration, what you've accomplished since you've been in, and based upon that, we have some questions to arrive at your suitability for parole. We're going to take turns asking those questions, then we're going to talk about your case and give you a decision. Okay?
Okay.
And we're going to start questions today with board member Zapu Sassi.
Good afternoon, Mr. Stewart. I'm going to start with just going back to your opening statement where you apologize for your actions. So thank you for that. But can you tell me a little bit in more detail who you are apologizing to and for what?
I'm apologizing to the victims of my crimes and whoever is not in the victim of my crimes, just because I'm not setting a good example for others.
So, you know, a quick read of some of the materials. So there's in my estimation, there's a few victims. There's the urban city in which you lived, where there were several breaches of public safety. You endangered the life of a police officer. You did not follow the rules and regulations of society. And so in all of that, a lot of people were put at risk for the decisions that you made. So I just want to be clear that when crimes like this happen, it could be one person, the police officer who was dragged, or it could be the larger community. And we all have a responsibility to be good citizens within our community. And we know that cities like Hartford and New Haven and Waterbury and Bridgeport, there's challenges there in those cities. And I feel for people who struggle with employment and those types of things. But at no point do I think it's appropriate to engage in reckless acts that endanger the lives, especially of public safety officials. So I wanted to just set the ground rule there in terms of what we're talking about, and then ask you the question, and we'll get to the gun piece, but let's talk about substance abuse. Of 3, and it says that you have participated with using marijuana and alcohol. Are either of those a problem for you, Mr. Stewart, in terms of your view of your addiction and substance use issues?
Well, I haven't really looked at it as an issue, but now I have, and I do apologize for it. Like I said, the drug score and the past crimes I have committed, and the assault and breaching peace of others in the society of life, but I haven't really looked at my use of marijuana and alcohol as a real issue until probably now. where I noticed that I probably did act out wrong on the wrong behalf, just probably because I probably was intoxicated and was brought into a certain situation. And I felt like if I wasn't, I would have dealt with it probably a lot more differently and probably a lot more better for everybody else and myself in my actions.
So, I'm looking at the convictions, and there are no under the influence convictions, but that doesn't mean that the substance use of the time didn't contribute to that. So I'm trying to get to the understanding of, do you feel that your use of these substances contributed to your actions that resulted in these crimes being committed?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Somewhat. But being in prison, I only had the substance abuse tickets because, and the drug score raised up just because of being incarcerated and going through what I'm going through in here. And I kind of realized that the situations that I'm going through in prison and being incarcerated is somewhat of the same that what I would be going through in the real world. And I learned that me being in prison and trying to cope with using drugs or alcohol to stay sane is not helping me out. I'm still dragging myself down and getting tickets and making my life harder. So I could agree with that.
Okay, and again, those are the insights that we're looking for. So we're not here to make you feel badly about yourself or that, but that is an important insight, because if you get to the root of some of these issues, that's where growth can occur. And you answered my next question. You have 3 disciplinary tickets, 2 are for contraband, and 1 is for intoxication. So yes, you're using these as a crutch to get through your incarceration, it sounds like you're saying.
Yes, I have been going through some tough times in here, being around certain people and hearing my family out there struggling and missing me. And it kind of did drive me to, use to stick to a scapegoat of what's really going on. And I truly apologize for all of that. I have realized now that it's not helping me out in any situation.
No, it doesn't help, for sure. So that you're supposed to be taking 2 programs. You haven't taken them yet. The Voices and a new program. It used to be Good Intentions, Bad Choices. I think it has a new name. Are your tickets preventing you from getting into those programs?
Yes, it have. Before I even caught my first ticket, I always been applying, which I have letters now. I have writing requests to all the prisons I've been in, requesting to get in to the programs, and I always have been put on a waiting list, and everybody else was being put before me. And now that I was able to get in a program, I guess now the ticket is preventing me from doing any program. I have just broke for the drug ticket I caught, which is tier 2, to get in tier 2, and I was denied because of my active ticket.
All right, so that's good to know. You mentioned the program that you are voluntarily in, is it Criminon program?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not very familiar with that program. Could you give us a little bit of detail about what you're learning in that program?
Well, Criminon is basically just trying to teach anybody on how to live a better life. Basically, I'm learning on how to go about solving issues that anybody will come across, on how to be a better person, how to live healthy, and be a better person to society. So to sum it up in quick words, I'm basically learning how to be a better man to those around me and how to teach everybody on how to be a better man or woman.
Okay. The gun piece, I'm assuming that was for personal safety, your involvement with guns?
Yes.
Okay, and you know that you're not able to have them?
No, yes, I do.
Okay, and you understand the deadly weapons registry that you're required to be on?
Yes.
Okay. The other thing that I want to touch upon is employment. You had done some warehouse work, but you weren't working at the time of your arrest. Do you struggle with employment opportunities, Mr. Stewart?
Not really, but I have an opening for work soon as when I come home, I have opening for work for a warehouse called CNS and for basically like a delivering company. But I haven't really struggled so much. I get a lot of jobs, it just don't be too long term. It's always temporary work. So I could say that, yeah, I kind of struggle with keeping a long-term job.
And what makes that a struggle? Is it anything in terms of your attendance or your timeliness, or is it just that you're using a temp agency? What seems to be the issue?
It'd be mainly because I'll be using temp agencies and assignments be done. I'm not gonna lie, I have been fired from a couple of jobs for being late 1 or 2 times and told to reapply, but mainly it'd be because I use temp agencies and the assignments be over.
You had mentioned in your statement that you feel badly because your family is struggling while you're inside and they're outside. But you had mentioned in one of your reports that we read that you were mostly supported by your girlfriend and your mother. So is that a financial support, or was that just in general that you're supported by them?
I'm financially supported by my mother, mentally and everything. And yes, they struggle, but not so much financially without me. It's basically mentally knowing that I'm in here and not out there with them. And I feel as if when I say they're struggling, I feel as if I didn't notice till now how much me being away, how my conviction affected my little sister being in school, knowing that I'm in here and I'm in trouble and getting in trouble, and how my mom been just so disappointed in me. So that's why I mean that she struggles with basically mentally being down that I'm incarcerated.
Okay. So you did graduate from high school
Yes.
in East Hartford, and you did some time at Lincoln Tech.
Yes.
Just so what happened with Lincoln Tech? Was it a program that you finished or didn't finish?
Yeah, I went to Lincoln Tech for automotive and I failed a paper exam twice, and they basically kicked me out saying that I should come back. No, they basically kicked me out saying that they didn't want me to overcharge myself on keep failing the class. And then later on, they told me to come back and to come to school, and I chose not to because I figured that automotive wasn't ready for me.
Okay, well, I mean, my look at this is you're 31 now, right? You're
Yes.
31 and, you have several convictions. You have the potential of a job, and you're now slowly acknowledging that, the substance abuse issues may have been contributing to your behavior in the community, which is not productive. So you're not young anymore, but you're also not old enough that you can't change things around, Mr. Stewart. So I'm going to give the dice back to our chairman to see if anybody else has any questions concerning the reports we have on you.
Thank you, board members Apple-Sassi. Board member Chance, anything?
Yeah. So I wanted to go back to a couple of things that you said, Mr. Stewart. You were released in October of 2022 on probation, and I'm assuming that you went to a temp agency. So if you think about temp agencies can be good. You always have to look for the good. when you get put out on a job, what they want you to do is go to work on time, do your day's work, and whatever you're asked to do it and do it in the proper way. So if you, and I heard you mention that you were late a couple times, and that affects negatively because that company who goes to the temp agency will say to them, this guy was late twice or whatever, and so send somebody else. So it's like a vicious circle. But if you were to get a job assignment and you did well on it, next time that job ends, the temp agency would continue, because I've heard a lot of people come before us and say, you know, I used a temp agency and then I got this good job. Okay? So you always have to, it's your attitude, I'm thinking, and that's what you have to watch. In terms of Lincoln Tech, there are programs in the community that will allow you to, they will pay for you to complete programs at Lincoln Tech. If you fail the first 2 times and they sit down and have a discussion with you and say, maybe this is not your area, and you say to them, it doesn't appear to be, maybe I can do something else. And so those are the things that you kind of have to look for. You have to try and advocate for yourself. I think you're a smart young man. You have good family support, and it's obvious you had good values that you were taught. You just chose to do other things. And so now you know what your negative actions is causing on, you know, the poor example you're setting for your younger sister, and your poor mother is there, you know, knowing how she raised you, and you're not acting in the way she raised you. So you really have to buckle down, and I really applaud you for taking that Criminon program. And I haven't heard anyone say that they've taken it before in the last year or so, but I have heard others. And it's teaching you, as you said, how to be a better person and live a better life. So I'm hoping that some of those things will stay with you. CNS Warehouse is a good place to work. You just have to go there. You got to go on time. You have to do a good day's work, and they have many opportunities there. I'm very much aware of the people who run CNS, and they are very much giving people like yourself opportunities to come there and create a better life for yourself. Okay, so I hope when you do get out and you go there, make sure you go on time and do your job that you're asked to do. Okay?
Okay, I will.
All right. Good luck, Mr. Fury.
Board Member Zappos has it.
So I believe that Mr. Stewart presented, at least for me, better in person than he did on paper after reading through the case earlier this week. They are serious charges, so I don't want to minimize that. But I think that there was some level of reflection and I think responsibility about how his actions are affecting others, especially his family. I believe that taking the initiative to go into the Criminon program shows emerging offender change. I appreciate that he is able to acknowledge that using alcohol and other contraband as a means of coping isn't an appropriate pursuit for this incarceration or in life. But I would really like him to have some programming so that he can work through that. And he does have the 3 disciplinary tickets that I believe are probably going to prevent him from seeing that program until they clear. That being said, I would be open because of the timing of this, and the fact that he only has 1 year on special parole. I would be open to talking with my colleagues about a potential rehear.
I would agree with you on that. And I think it really goes back to him acknowledging the 3 tickets and applying it and coming to the conclusion that it is a part of, why he's there, and he committed those very serious offenses.
Yes.
And I do agree there's some offended change there. And once you acknowledge where you're screwing up, and I heard him talk about it at the temp agency, the fact that he went late,
Mhm.
and the fact that, he was in that Lincoln Tech program. He failed the exam twice, so he knew it wasn't for him. He just needs to figure out where he needs to be. And so I would be willing to give him a rehear date.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'll tell you 2 things that really bother me about this case. One is struggling with a cop and a gun. You know that people died doing that, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And then the other piece was, it's underlying, but it was taken up with a cop. Put the cop in danger here. Dragging him about 15 feet toward the driveway because he wanted to take off and not stop and own up to what he was doing. He doesn't have any programming other than Criminon, and good on him for doing that. Thanks for pointing that out. It is an opportunity. If we brought him back in February of 2026, that would give him a second year on special parole.
Discretionary parole then.
Yeah, second year on parole. He's got voices, tensions. What were you thinking on a reader?
Tier 2 to add
Tier
a tier
two.
2.
Yeah,
Tier,
to request that.
yeah, tier program voices.
Yeah.
Positive programming. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah, he's halfway out there and doing that.
Mhm.
So.
So do you want to bring them in November? I mean, it's a fluid discussion.
Over in February.
February.
Yeah. Because, yes, if he gets no further DR, so it's all gonna be on him.
Right.
If he gets no DR, then he does an addiction services program and the voices. The voices last, is it 3 months or 6 months? Can't remember.
I don't think it's 6 months.
Oh,
It's 3 months, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, either 3 or 6. So I would do November since.
Is that what you're,
And we want him to do programs.
I'm open to whatever you think is appropriate.
okay, so, before I make the motion, you know this is all on you, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
you get a ticket. I mean, you get a ticket and there goes the opportunity to get in the programs that you need to make parole. Right? Because then you're gonna be on hold for how long before you can actually get into a program, right?
Yes.
And even, are you clear already on the tickets?
No,
Because if-
I'm not clear on the tickets until April. But if I get they was telling me if I get a request from parole that I need my programs to get parole, they will waive my tickets to do the programs now. Where I
Well,
will
see,
get with,
they're even willing to work with you.
huh?
They are even willing to work with you.
Yes.
But you need to take responsibility for this. No more cutting and running. None of that stuff. Got it. It's time for you to take responsibility for yourself and to turn this around. You don't need to be here in another 10 years. You know?
Yes.
I just want to add, Mr. Stewart, we're giving you this opportunity to come back in November. We cannot say for sure that the next panel is going to grant you. So you need to make sure you dot your I's and dot your T's, do your programs, no DRs.
Okay.
Because these are very, very serious charges, especially when it involves a police officer who we depend on to protect us in the community.
Understood.
So are we at inadequate institutional program participation, inadequate evidence of offender change for institutional adjustment? Is that where we are, or are we set? Is that appropriate?
Yes. What
Is that
was the,
appropriate for you?
I had inadequate evidence of offender change, an inadequate institutional program, and poor institutional adjustment.
Yep,
yeah,
that's what I have.
that's what he
Okay.
said.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
All right, so regarding Andre Stewart, 414724, I move to deny parole based upon inadequate institutional program participation, inadequate evidence of offender change, and poor institutional adjustment. And to bring you back for another hearing in November of 2025. We recommend that you take a tier program, voices, and any other positive programming that you can take and remain free of disciplinary reports. Is there a second?
Second.
Those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Mr. Stewart, it's your chance. Right?
Yes. May I have the question? I
Yeah,
feel
go ahead.
as if I know I could have tier 2 done. It is only a month long and voices is only, could I say 3 months? I will have it done if my tickets is waived before November. So I was hoping I could request for a sooner hearing date than November.
So part of this, right,
Yes,
is you just got tickets in December, right?
Yeah.
yes,
Part of this is you showing us that you can do what you need to do inside as well.
okay.
Okay? So, thank you for coming to see us today.
Okay. Thank you.
Good luck.
Oh, yes.
You're all set, sir.
Who else was wondering why I played this hearing? Different board, like polls on it. Obviously, a year ago, this hearing happened, and the reason I played it is because we are coming back to the board, the panel that we just saw, the same date that we just saw it, actually in the same order, and we are going to see his second parole hearing, because how fast does time fly when you are having fun? right? Can you even imagine Mike Pohl didn't want to parole him? I cannot believe it. Whenever I hear Mike Pohl say something that doesn't sound absolutely insane, it joggles my brain. But he's coming back. Ladies and gentlemen, Mandalorians, we are about to see his parole hearing. And before we watch it, I want you to put in the comment section whether or not you think he is going to have write-ups, whether he was going to be successful. He was going to do everything that he could do to get out of prison early. Let me know. And let's jump in.
DeAndre Stewart, 414-724.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for DeAndre Stewart, number 414724. He is serving a sentence of 4 years jail, followed by 1 year special parole for criminal possession of a pistol and 2 counts of violation of probation for underlying charges, carrying a pistol without a permit and assault on a public safety officer. As of today, records reflect a parole eligibility date of May 3rd, 2025. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan. It has been reviewed and shows since the last hearing he has completed voices in tier 2. Utilizing the statewide collaborative offender risk evaluation system, the offender's overall score falls within the high range of risk for recidivism. This is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I feel like I should be granted parole because I served 2.5 years sitting and thinking about my actions and the reasons of why I led up to being incarcerated. And I feel like I learned my lesson and realized that the things that I was outside doing and the people that I was around wasn't right for me or the life that I was trying to live for my family. And I just really take accountability for my actions for the stuff that I didn't know that was really like wrong. That was really wrong for people that I was out there doing. Basically, I'm just trying to say is that it took a lot for me to realize that I'm thinking that I'm protecting myself by carrying a firearm and by walking the streets the way I was, that I wasn't doing nothing but putting everybody else at risk, and that I victimized my family because me being without them or not there, they're out there struggling, and I have younger siblings that's missing me and don't really have the right guidance on being a better person in society. So I would just like another chance to show that and show them and show y'all that I am the person that they need to be in their life.
All right, thanks, Mr. Stewart. You've been here before, so you know how it works, right? This is a rehear?
Yeah.
All right, can you help us understand why you have 4 new tickets since your last hearing, which was 9 months ago? Last ticket a couple weeks ago?
Well, a couple of those tickets was like really uncalled for. Like the first 3, I feel like I didn't deserve the tickets. It was just disobeying a direct order. I didn't hear the CEO talking to me and he hit me with a ticket for disobeying a direct order. I have a fighting ticket just recently because somebody said I assaulted them. There was no assault in the ticket, in the footage or anything. There was no assault, period. And I put a ticket in SEG for that assault ticket. And when for ID count, when I was clearly asleep and I didn't know it was ID count. And I was in SEG, I was in the cell by myself throughout the whole time. So I didn't really see no reason for me to really speak to the officers when I was asleep, and I didn't know that it was ID count for real. But I ended up giving my MA number up, and I guess it was too late for the ID count. And lastly, I have a contraband ticket. I was just really in here stressed out. This month was my birthday, my grandfather's birthday, a lot of family members' birthdays, and I felt I was just stressed out that I was missing out on a lot, and my grandmother is sick. So it's just a lot that I was in here really going through mentally and verbally abused from COs and people trying to just keep my head out of people this way. Like, and I don't make it, it's no excuse for my tickets. Really, I took accountability for it. I signed the first 3 just because so I could be able to do my programs. I tried to fight the first 3, but it was stopping me from being able to complete my programs and finish the stipulations that I was given from the jump.
So wait, what were you using?
I drank jailhouse alcohol.
Did you know you had a parole hearing today?
Yes.
So, okay, so
But
you
I
didn't
just
care,
found out. I
really.
just found out recently, like a week or 2 ago.
Well, you knew it was coming up. You had to rehear.
Yes,
No?
I did.
Wow.
Like I said, I really just was going through a lot of mental situations. I didn't
Yeah,
think that
we
it
all
was,
are. I mean, that's so how are you going to handle it on the outside? Go get another gun? I mean, what
No.
you're making excuses.
I'm not. And it's far from the same thing. I'm not saying my actions was right, but that's the last thing that I would do is get another gun. I just felt like that it was no harm and that's something that's legal on the outside. And yeah, it was wrong of me to think like that. And I realized that all it was
Yeah, just
just
because something's legal, I can't bring a bottle of alcohol to work and drink it at my desk. Just because something's legal
Understandable.
doesn't mean you can do it.
Understandable. And I take full accountability for my actions of drinking alcohol because all it did was put me in a worse predicament.
Are you an alcoholic?
No, I am not.
Okay. Do you have a drug problem?
No, I do not.
Why did you have fentanyl on you when you were arrested?
Because I was struggling and that was the only way I could see where it fit for me to get some money as fast as I could.
Oh, so you were selling drugs.
Yes.
Okay, so you're on probation for a weapon conviction, and you get picked up with 2 guns and 90 sleeves of fentanyl. Then you come inside. The first time you see the parole board, you already had tickets for marijuana and Pruno, and they give you an opportunity to bring you back, and now you're back again with the same. I mean, I just don't see the change, sir. You know, and that's after having taken the Tier 2 program. I mean, I have to make a decision based on public safety. The public is not safe when you're walking up to people's cars and banging on their window with a gun. Just imagine the horror of that person sitting in the car. I can't imagine. I'd be afraid to go anywhere anymore. I mean, yeah, I don't know how to help you. You have a year of special parole to follow your sentence. What's going to help you while you're on special parole?
Me being in here, remembering what I was in here going through and the people that I left behind struggling. I really love my family and I do really apologize.
Who are you talking about when you say your family? Who are you talking about? Your mom?
My younger sister, my mother, and my younger brother, which is out there struggling and left alone in the dark because I am not there as their son and brother and older sibling to guide them the right way. And I really do apologize to my victims. Yeah, it was awful for me to do what I had did, and I apologize. I wish I could tell them, and I do apologize. It was
Do you
wrong of me.
apologize to your family for being away from them due to your own choices?
Yes, I do. And I tell
Okay,
them all
good.
the time. That's part of the reasons why I kind of did. It is a mental battle. That's the reason why I kind of did get those tickets that I do have for the alcohol and the marijuana is because I could hear the hurt and being on the phone talking to them and hearing what they're going through. And I'm not there to help, whether or not it mentally or verbally, it hurts me in here.
Yeah. Well, I hope there's a program for you to find some coping skills because if anything, you made it worse, right? Because you may have cost yourself parole and that's even longer away from your family. So it's called self-sabotage, right?
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself over and over again. And your family. I'm sure you're hurting them too. Ms. Keys. Questions?
I don't think I have any questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Berry?
Thank you, Madam Chair. You know, Mr. Stewart, all I can say is that I'm so disappointed in you. I mean, honestly, you came in and the odds were already set against you because of the nature of your crimes. But my past colleagues that reviewed your file said, let's give him some incentives, send him back there, let him do some programs, stay out of trouble. And you still you weren't able to comply. It is called self-sabotage. Do you feel like you're institutionalized? Like, I don't understand why you continue to do the same things over and over again. And the first time it didn't work. And how can you be of any assistance to your family if you can't help yourself? You have to start with you first.
I thought about that. And like I said, it wasn't right of me to self-medicate because I was down and missing home. And all it did, yes, it made things worse, but I really just hope y'all could realize that I do learn my lesson. And when I came to jail,
How are we supposed to know that you learned your lesson based on how you're behaving in there?
because what I came in jail for is far from what I was outside committed of my charges. And I'm not saying that what I'm in jail for is what I committed in here is anything different, but it's far from what I got convicted for. And I'm not in here assaulting anybody or doing any of the above. It's not right that I did drink and smoke, but I haven't.
Mr. Stewart, what do you think that your being in prison is supposed to accomplish, aside from punishment?
It's supposed to accomplish me turning into a better person and being institutionalized, learning the right and wrong from my actions and the effect towards my family and my victims.
Okay. And do you think that what you've done has achieved that?
I feel like I achieved that because I do know that it was
from our perspective. Try to look at things from our perspective.
Honestly, I've been nervous about this the day I caught my last ticket. And
but you should be. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sorry to talk over you, but I'm just like, you've said so much and you've just made things worse. Like, you're 32. I know you're still young, but you're only going to keep going in and out, in and out, in and out.
They know that I can promise I would not. I only had my first bid. I did all my time. Yes, I violated on probation, but me violating on probation, making that mistake the first time, I instilled that in my head. It won't be a second time me coming back here. It's just been very hard being in here around the environment I am in and trying to stay out of that. All I want to do is go home and get a real job and to take care of my family and help my mom out and my little sister.
Well, I'm hoping that you do that, Mr. Stewart, and you're not serving a life sentence, so eventually you will have that opportunity. And unfortunately, just based on, a review of your file and the nature of your crimes, as the chair said, I'm just like, when I was reading your file, I'm like, you're going on knocking on people's windows, talking about you want to make sure they know who you are so that you can get respect in your community, knocking on people's doors to their houses, asking with a gun. Like, that stuff, I was floored, honestly. You have some work to do, Mr. Stewart. And I know it starts with your family, but you also need accountability for your actions in the community. So I appreciate your speaking with me. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right, so I think I already made my position known. I'm just looking for denial reasons and special parole conditions. I have obviously poor institutional adjustment and offense committed while on probation. Anything else?
That's what I have.
All right. Do we want any special parole conditions? I thought about no alcohol because alcohol did seem like a problem on the outside and obviously on the inside. Okay.
Yeah, I do.
In the matter of DeAndre Stewart, inmate number 414-724, move to deny parole for the following reasons. Your offense was committed while on probation and your poor institutional adjustment. You have 1 year of special parole to follow and you're not to consume alcoholic beverages while you're on special parole. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Stewart, we certainly wish you the best while you're on special parole. Take advantage of your remaining time. Try to get some more programs in, but we couldn't grant you to parole, sir.
Concludes the hearing for DeAndre Stewart.
I mean, let's be real. This was.
Good luck to you.
What are we supposed to say? What are we supposed to say in a hearing like this? There are some folks, for his own good, not just the safety of the community, but for his own good, they should have some mechanism to add more time because there's no way he's going to mature enough to not be a liability out in the community when he gets out. I mean, here he is with a chance at like a gift. They basically say, you know what? Yeah, you're crazy dangerous. You're getting in fights with cops and guns and banging on the window, doing the whole thing. You're on probation. But you know what? We'll only give you a 4-year sentence. Parole eligibility after 2 years. He was sentenced 1/10/2024. He gets immediately up for parole. He failed because he's doing horrible in prison. They say, you know what? Just go 1 year, 1 more year, not even a year. I mean, it was, when was his hearing? His hearing was February 14, 2025 was the first hearing. He comes back in November. And actually, it was the end of November. Yeah, and almost December. He comes back and he has this next parole hearing. And what does he do? He has so many write-ups. Disobeying direct orders, which is the easiest write-up not to have. Say hello, CoCo. This is CoCo. Most of you probably have known CoCo by now. And he was my mother-in-law's dog. She decided that he was a little bit too cute for her. So she gave him to us. And he's a cutie. CoCo. He's actually smart for a small dog. I guess the poodle mix. He's got you can see he's thinking. He thinks he's like a family member. He runs around with his brothers and sisters, and I think he thinks he's one of them. It's the funniest thing. So, anyways, he and then the Pruno ticket. And what's his excuse? It was my birthday. It was my father's birthday, my mother's birthday. My grandmother's getting old. And, I don't know what you can learn from these hearings. It is interesting. As crazy as the hearings we saw criminals who did make the best of it. It seems they're getting degrees from Ivy League schools that you and I can never dream of attending, yet here they are getting the opportunity to get degrees in these schools. We see other inmates that just do nothing but spend time in SEG and getting write-ups and can't do anything to help themselves. So in some sense, you can see where there are people that take advantage of it and others that aren't. And I don't know. I just don't think that you can actually understand what's going on in prisons until you see these type of parole hearings, and it paints a picture that you can't otherwise get. So I'm happy we're able to do that here on Mandoo. And thank you, Lady Holly and Sir Richard, for their spreadsheets. I don't believe Lady Holly is with us anymore, but every time we use the spreadsheet, it's like she is here with us and is able to connect the dots. And he's going to be getting out regardless in a couple of years. And if you don't think he's going to reoffend and maybe cause serious bodily harm, seriously injure someone, shoot someone, maybe kill someone, it's like a train wreck we can all see coming. It's about the most basic thing, impulse control. He has zero impulse control. None. No parole for Tate. I mean, disobeying direct order, drinking Pruno, when you know you have a parole hearing, and then he tries to play like he didn't know. The strangest thing. And it's like, it's in your best interest. You had a clearer playbook than most. All you had to do was not get write-ups and complete your programs. And this parole board is so loosey-goosey that if you had not gotten to prune a write-up, they still might have given you a chance. Because we've seen it before. We've seen them say no write-ups, people get write-ups and they'll still get parole. So, you just, he's so funny. He's so funny, CoCo. CoCo, you're funny. Just came back for a walk. That's why he always has this. But yeah, I don't know. All right. What can I do? But yeah, we threw in the kind of sneaky return of for you there. Let me know what you thought about that. Kind of get you off guard. You never know what's coming. And there you have it. Also, if you like these longer 2-hour segments, let me know in the comment section. And with that, I'll let you go.
Well, I have
So,
like
Mr. Stewart, what do you think that your being in prison is supposed to accomplish, aside from punishment?
It's supposed to accomplish me turning into a better person and being institutionalized, learning the right and wrong from my actions and the effect towards my family and my victims.
Okay. And do you think that what you've done has achieved that?
I feel like I achieved that because I do know that it
Okay,
was
from our perspective. Try to look at things from our perspective.
Honestly, I've been nervous about this the day I caught my last ticket. And
But you should be. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sorry to talk over you, but I'm just like, you've said so much and you've just made things worse. Like you're 32. I know you're still young, but you're only going to keep going in and out, in and out, in and out. They know
that I can promise I would not. I only had my first bid. I did all my time. Yes, I violated on probation, but me violating on probation, making that mistake the first time, I instilled that in my head. It won't be a second time me coming back here. It's just been very hard